Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm back here at Walker Ford, Clearwater, Florida, and guess what? It's that time again where we flex some muscle, especially with this car. What is it? This is a 2024 Mustang GT, and guess what? This one has that 6-speed manual transmission. But before we get into this classic rear-wheel drive V8 powered muscle car, let's talk about what's going on here. The manual transmission, once upon a time, it was the transmission of choice. If you wanted to go fast, you would learn how to drive one, and then you would develop those skills to roll through it just like Mario Andretti. Now, of course, in today's day and age, it's gotten to the point where even traditional torque converter automatic transmissions will outshift you, especially the 10-speed automatic that is optional in a Mustang GT. But what I want to find out is if you're looking for a performance car, maybe not even necessarily a muscle car, because I know some people call the Mustang a sports car. I don't really refer to it that way. A sports car to me is more like a Corvette or something like that. But you know, if you're looking for a performance car and you still want to have that slick shifting 6-speed manual fun, is the Mustang the best way to go? And if you're wondering, well, Joe, are there any other performance cars that have manuals? Yes, you got the BMW M2, BMW M4, Porsche 911. You even still technically have the mighty Camaro before they're all sold out. So let's go ahead, let's dive into this Atlas Blue. It's a new color for 2024, replace Velocity Blue, Atlas Blue Mustang GT, and find out, is it the best manual transmission performance car you should be rowing through each and every day? Let's go ahead and find out. Right off the bat, the color. I love the bright blues on the S650 platform, and it really fits the body style and the body lines to a T. Now, of course, you're gonna get standard full LED projector beam headlights, and I like the way they got the daytime running lamp tri-bar across the top. In the lower corners, the bad news is you have these blocked off vents. So that's gonna be a zonk, non-functional corner vents. I know, if you go performance pack, then they open them up, or if you go dark horse, then you're gonna get a totally different front end that has that functionality. But I still think on any Mustang GT, when you go GT, you should have functionality, but I am gonna have to give it a zonk. Maybe on the GT, if they would have done fog lamps, that would have been a nice touch. Fog lamps are something that has been with Mustang going back to the early days. So that would have been kind of cool, but let me know in the comment section how you feel about it. Now, as you come across the front grille, there's that classic pony right there, that emblem, so much history. It's crazy how everybody and their mother has a Mustang story, even though maybe you never even owned one. Maybe your best friend in high school had one, you got married in one, maybe you even got impregnated in one. Everybody has a Mustang story. So when you go Mustang GT, you're gonna get the gloss black grille. That's your standard Mustang pony. Of course, you can get the blackout package, and then guess what color the Mustang would be? You're correct, it would be gloss black. I love the way they do the snout on each side of the upper grille. I feel like that's my favorite design element of the front of the new S650 Mustang. Flat black functionality on the bottom, and then on the GT, you just get a little standard lip extension with the body colored splitter down below. But when it comes to an aggressive looking car, this still has what it takes. Now, as we rise up, you got that long hood with a bulge and a functional heat extractor. So when you go GT, you're getting this gloss black functional heat extractor, drag that hot air from underneath the hood. And then when we come around the bend, there's about 20 billion different wheel options for the new Mustang. Well, maybe not 20 billion, but pretty close. Let me know what you think about these. I'm actually digging them. These are optional 20-inch wheels, V-spoke setup, nice hand-polished aluminum style to it. You do have your Brembo 6-piston caliper up front. And then, of course, you're gonna have your retuned suspension for this new S650 chassis. And if you're wondering, well, Joe, what is the size of the tire? 265 on the width, 35 series sidewall. And like I said, let me know in the comment section. I'm digging the Atlas Blue with these wheels. I know Steven isn't a big fan. He'd rather see them in bronze or pink or something. I don't know. I think pink was his choice of color. But let me know what you think about those. Coming down the side, 5050, gotta go. That's what we got, that classic badge. So much history wrapped up into the 5-liter V8 Mustang. So glad that Ford decided to keep it in the lineup. You got that beautiful Atlas Blue all over the place, across the roof, on your door handles, on your mirror caps. And as we work towards the rear, of course, you're gonna have on your standard Mustang, they just give you floating calipers. So you can get the optional Brembo package, which gives you Brembos up front and out back. Just something to think about when you're checking off the option boxes. I'm glad that they give you the choice at least. Now, when you come around the back, this one just has a simple, clean, classic, low trunk lid spoiler. You got your tri-bar taillights with that sequential turn signal effect. The GT badge, looking good. And then working our way down, we got that sexy quad tip exhaust, slash cut. Really gonna let that V8 rumble come through and through. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop the hood. If we're talking about a performance car, we gotta talk about horsepower. Let's see how many ponies are underneath the hood of this Mustang. All right, guys, we got the hood popped. You do have hood struts. There she is in all of her glory, is that updated Coyote V8, 5-liter, naturally aspirated. Love the way it looks. It's one of those hoods that you could pop when you're in your garage and just pull up a chair or a stool and stare at it. You got the new twin throttle bodies, nice mega size, your twin air boxes and air intakes. But what do we got going on? 5 liters of V8 goodness, pumping out 486 horsepower, 418 pound-feet of torque. You get that extra 6 horsepower with the Ford Performance Active exhaust. We have the 6-speed manual. Now, no, it is not the Tremec, but the Getrag isn't as bad as some people make it out to be. You got your automatic rev match downshift feature. And if you know how to do the dance on your twinkle toes, 0 to 60 in 4 seconds flat, quarter mile in 12.3 seconds at 115 miles per hour. Top speed is governed to 155 miles per hour. MPG's 15 in the city, 23 on the highway, and the vehicle weighs 3,947 pounds. So like I said, you still have the choice of the dark horse, but with this being the standard Mustang GT, I think it's a good one to talk about with that Getrag 6-speed manual. Why don't we go ahead though, let's fire up this pony and hear its roar. All right, guys, we are inside this 2024 Mustang GT Atlas Blue with those optional 20-inch wheels. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, one of the things that's going to make me select my next performance car is going to be value, how much I get for my money. So how much is this Mustang GT? Very good question. This one, the way that it's optioned, has an MSRP of $53,380. Let's see how it stacks up to the other performance cars, to the door panels. Love the clean, classic style. Ford has always been #1 with blending the retro style, especially with the new Mustang, because you see all the nicer materials, the stitching, no gloss black. Door pocket, you'll easily be able to get 2 cheeseburgers, a medium fry, and a Pepsi to wash it down from Mickey D's. Going from the door panel to the dash, soft touch material, you got the classic Mustang name. And then you slide on in. If you like technology, you're gonna like these screens. They are large and in charge. 13.4-inch infotainment system screen. You can spin it around. We could open up the exhaust, all by the press of a button. You could go and change your clusters. the whole 9 yards. I've shown you all of this, auxiliary gauges. You want more gauges? Bam, now you got more gauges. And this is the important stuff too, not just you know, throttle sensitivity. We got oil pressure, we got oil temp. These are things that you need to pay attention to. Now, you do get heated and ventilated seats. The challenge is in the Zonk is it's all in the screen. So that's where I think they went a little wrong. And this dash up top looks so good. Ow, that's freaking hot. Don't touch that. The dash is so freaking good looking, you can't see it. And you'll notice we got the B&O sound system as well. There's the center speaker. Working our way down, you got your bright red start stop button, easy access buttons like shutting off that pesky auto start stop feature. You got your 12 volt, you're gonna wanna get a radar detector. Wireless charging, USB-C, USB-A. Look at the stitching, they added stitching. Got a nice little holder here for a pencil or a pen. This is when you go to the drag strip and you need to write on your time slips, corrections that you need to make. You can keep your little pencils here. This is where the magic happens. So remember when you were a kid and your parents said, if the door's closed to their bedroom, do not come bother them? They were making the magic happen. They were probably making your sister or your brother, your younger sister or brother. This is where you're gonna be making the magic happen. And the great news is you can let everybody watch. Let them watch while you rode through that 6-speed manual. 2 cup holders. There's the pony. Giddy up. Nicely done with the buttons. You got your electric e-brake, cleans up this area. Remember, you can get the optional drift brake setup in here. Soft touch material with the stitching. Open it up. You got another 12 volt, and you got enough room in here. I would say probably put 4 boxes of gobstoppers. And, you know, I want to talk about that for a second. Let's talk about the gobstoppers. So, if you've ever seen Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, you would know that the gobstoppers had a very, very unique look to them. And then when you got the box of actual gobstoppers candy at your favorite convenience store or grocery store, they looked totally different. I feel like I've been cheated my whole life and lied to by Willy freaking Wonka. So if you ever see him, let him know I'm looking for him. This one has the optional leather, heated seats, ventilated seats, power assist on the bottom, manual on the back, and of course, you could squeeze some people in the back seat if you want to. If you want to make them hurt, make your friends sit back there. And we can't forget, look at this, extra 5 horsepower. You got your stripe, racing stripe on the seatbelt. But why don't you come over here to the business end? I want to show you behind the wheel of this Mustang GT. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel. You do have your Mustang sill plate. This illuminates at night. Very nicely done. And then, of course, we got our triple pedals in here. Aluminum clutch, brake, and throttle. You do have automatic rev match downshift, but you can heel, toe, downshift all day long if you know how to do the business. Baby size dead pedal, and I wish that was aluminum. So that is still a zonk in my book. I like the easy access to the seat controls. I'm 6 feet tall, and they made sure to design this that you could actually get in and out with a helmet on. So if you're at the drag strip, you gotta wear a helmet. And if you're at the racetrack, you gotta wear a helmet. My advice, just to be extra safe, because remember, you only got one cabeza. You bump that too hard, game over. You want to use a proper track helmet for cars. I see a lot of people using motorcycles. Those get regulated and sanctioned in a totally different way. You want a DOT, not a MDOT helmet for the track. That's just a little bit of advice. You could run the motorcycle helmet, but it's your head, not mine. Steering wheel. Love rubbing my hands all over it because it's got the 2 different types of leather, perforated smooth, the great stitching. You got your mode selector button, real easy to get to. Heated steering wheel, of course. And then you have your manual tilting and telescoping steering wheel. And then you got that beautiful gauge cluster. I just wish it fit in the dash a little bit more. But track mode is how I like to display the dash because it's really easy to see the tach and the gear indicator nice and large. But why don't we go ahead? I normally don't do this all the time, but let's go take a look at the trunk since we're comparing this to other performance cars and see how not only is this a performance car, but also a usable car. Let's go back there and find out. All All right, guys, I know we're talking about performance cars, but I think it's something to really point out that this being a performance car also is a very usable car. Lift up the trunk, you have 16 cubic feet of space, and this is gonna be important because if you wanna take this car to the drag strip, you could easily fit 2 wheels with mounted tires, a jack, some jack stands, and some other goodies in this trunk. And if you're wondering, well, Joe, do you get a spare? You do get a spare on the standard Mustang GT. That actually surprised me. Let me know in the comment section if you were surprised. I was actually surprised because not many performance cars coming with spares anymore. But why don't we go ahead? Do you hear that? The open road is calling me and the Radies Rides test track is calling me. Let's go on throttle together and see how this V8 manual transmission Mustang gets the business done. Guys, we're inside this 2024 Mustang GT with the 6-speed manual transmission. Nice to have the 6-speed here at Walker Ford. We like to do the 6 speeds. Sometimes we're stuck with the 10-speed automatics, but it's nice to have a 6-speed, especially in Atlas Blue. And if you're ready, I'm ready. On throttle, here we go. Yeah! I mean, that's the great thing about this car is that it gives you such an experience. It's all about the experience in this thing, and it is absolutely magical. Now, with the retuning of the chassis and the suspension, you'll be surprised. The ride is actually, for this type of car, very, very comfortable. And the great news is that you have the ability to daily drive this thing. And I think that's another thing that makes it that much nicer. Visibility out the front is great. Out the back, awesome as well. Definitely nowhere as near as tight as the Chevrolet Camaro, that's for sure. The 6-speed has nice crisp engagement. Short throws. Is it as good as the Tremec? No. But you're still going to be able to rock your socks in this thing. Another thing that is great about the Mustang is that because it's naturally aspirated, you know, it builds that torque nice and low, and it pulls it throughout the whole rev range. And it redlines at 7,500 RPM. But having the classic look, having that V8 rumble, and with the Ford active exhaust, it does give you a little bit extra horsepower, 486 horsepower. That's never a bad thing. And just the fact that, you know, the way the vehicle is laid out, everything is easily accessible. Yes, the screens are not my favorite, but I have experienced worse, that's for sure. All right, guys, we are here at the Radies Rides test track, and we're gonna get on throttle for you and show you how this Mustang GT gets it done. Second gear, on throttle, here we go. Love the sound of that V8. Just really creates this experience that is unforgettable. The downshifts, the automatic rev match downshift feature works really well, but like I said, if you want to shut it off, you can, and it's very easy to do your own heel-toe downshifting. Let's see how she handles. Woo! Nice, look at that. Brembo brakes up front. Handles well. Nice. Love that V8 roar. Really just a fantastic experience when it comes to how the car makes you feel, how it speaks to you. Yes, there's always going to be faster cars, right? I mean, you think you get the fastest car, somebody pulls up next to you at the track or at a light or at a Cars and Coffee event, they're going to have more power than you. But the experience in this thing is what I absolutely love. On throttle, here we go. Sounds so good. Sounds so good. And like I said, the fact that this is a daily driving car. I mean, I'm drooling on myself. That's how great this car is I'm drooling, I'm salivating because of how much fun this truck is to drive. It really is a ton of fun. Let's go one more time. On throttle, here we go. On the brakes. Woo! Look at this. Oh God, I love the way this thing drives. It just, you feel so connected. That sound. That's the sound that I hear in my dreams, is that V8 rumble. It sounds so good. But nice to have the different drive modes. What's cool is remember, this has over-the-air updates. So because it was the anniversary of the Mustang, 60 years, they actually have a new gauge cluster for you to choose from out of the different gauge clusters. So you actually have a classic 60s Mustang gauge cluster, which is kind of just adds to the fun experience of the car. And you know, because you're not just driving a car, you're driving an American legend. I mean, that's what it boils down to. Sound. You hear that? But even though this doesn't have Magna-Ride suspension, it still drives and handles very, very well. It's not gonna beat you up, and I'm in track mode, and it's not beating you up in any way, shape, or form. Good feedback. That's something that they really worked on, was the feedback through the steering wheel in this car. So you're getting better feedback and response, which is very, very important as well. But the manual transmission, like I said, even though it's not the Tremec, still works very, very, very well. So much fun. It really is so much fun. It's like if you're gonna drive a car, especially if you're gonna daily drive it, you want it to be fun. And that's what this Mustang GT is all about. But we're gonna go ahead and get back to Walker Ford so we can wrap this one up. So I will see you in a Mustang. All right, guys, been another great day in so many ways here at Walker Ford. Definitely gotta thank Frank Walker, Western Walker, and Tracy getting us access to a manual transmission equipped 6-speed Mustang GT. Let me know what you think, especially when you look at price. Is this the best way to go for your V8 performance, but also with having that engaged driving experience of rowing through your own gears? Let me know how you feel about it in the comment section. If you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raised Rise family. We need to give it up, Stephen Flood Photography. He loves rowing through a 6-speed manual transmission so much so that when he's at a gym in his local area, he always likes to do special workouts to make sure he's getting all that muscle for rowing through the gears. So thank you, Stephen, for your hard work. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.